Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Paperless Plannery. My name is Candace, and I am a digital content creator, a digital stationery creator. I have a presence here on YouTube, also on Instagram, and on TikTok where I go live. And today I want to talk to you about the Noteful app, specifically layers. I know that we have been putting this off, not really putting it off, but it's been highly requested, but I've had some other things that I've had to film. And then I was working on some things in my office with the lighting and all of that. So I had to get those things done. But now that stuff is pretty much done, we can go ahead and talk all things layers. So in this video, I'm going to cover how to set up layers, sort of how layers work. We'll do some playing around with some layers, and I will definitely welcome you to leave questions or comments because I feel like the selling point for a lot of people for Noteful is layers. Me personally, I've been in GoodNotes for so long, or I was in GoodNotes for so long, that I sort of know how to layer things and how to do those things without layers. But for someone that's a newbie or new, I can see why layers is such a big deal. My favorite thing is pins. I could go on and on and on about pinning and tagging, but this is all about layers. So first things first, when we start talking about layers is, and this is like the most important thing, if you can remember this, then you're good on layers. Once you set up a layer, that layer, it applies to every page in that notebook. Okay. So every folder in your notebook, so this is a notebook, this is a notebook, this is a notebook. All of these are notebooks. Every different folder, even a sticker pack. So if I went to this cherry Christmas sticker pack, this is technically a notebook. So if I were to put a layer in this, which this does not have layers, most sticker packs don't. Every layer, or yeah, the layers that I put in this would be for every page in this pack, but in this pack only. So you can have layers set up differently in each notebook, but do know that those layers apply to every page, whether there's something on the page or not, the layer does apply, okay? So a lot of people set up a lot of layers. If you are new to Noteful, I would say please do not set up more than 3 layers. I say start with 3. I say if you're really afraid of messing something up, start with 2. But I can show you how to do 3. But 2 is really all that you would probably need. A layer of things that are locked that you don't want to move, and then a layer of things that you don't mind moving, okay? I like to have 3 because I come on live and I come online and I show my planner. And sometimes I'll have appointments or personal information that I don't want people to see. So I have a 3rd layer and it's called text. And the reason that I have a text layer, and I can show you what that would look like in here, is that you can turn a layer on and off by hitting this little eyeball here, and it will hide the contents of the layer. So we will talk about that. So first thing you need to know, once you set up a layer, those are the layers that need to stay in that notebook. You cannot delete a layer. You can delete what's on a layer, and we will talk about the difference between deleting what's on a layer and deleting a layer. But once you set up a layer, it's set up. Okay, so this is just a copy of my 2026 Portrait Monday Start planner. So I thought this would be the perfect place to start and to set up a layer and to talk about it. So this purchase comes with November 2025, which is gone, and December 2025, which we're currently in, and in the entire month of January through the entire year of January through December 2026. Okay. So this is a brand new notebook. I just made a copy. Nothing's ever been written in it. There's no layers. There's no artwork. There's no day dots, nothing. So this is like if you were to purchase this or set up a notebook and you're starting from fresh, that's where we are. Okay. So if you have a notebook that you want to add layers to, definitely pause the video, open it, and just follow along with me. Okay. So hopefully you've done that. To add a layer, what you're going to want to do is this icon here at the very top. It looks like a line with a line. It looks like 4 lines with 4 dots beside it, okay? This is going to be your layers menu. In this menu, you can set bookmarks, which we can talk about in another video. Outlines, I will be honest with you, I really don't use outlines. I don't think I've ever used outlines. I have used bookmarks. Bookmarks are awesome. Again, that's for another video. We want to focus on layers. So when you click this icon, it is going to default to layers, okay? Excuse me. And you're going to have options here. You're going to have this little ellipses here to show recently deleted. We don't really care about that. What we care about is this add, okay? Now, it says adding layers to a notebook lets you annotate while keeping the original intact. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add, I think I'm going to show you how to add 3 layers, like I said. So you would typically start with 2. I personally like 3. And I want you to think about your layers like a cheeseburger. I know that sounds so random, but if you get a cheeseburger, the bottom is your bottom bun. Then you have your meat and all of your vegetables or whatever you like on your cheeseburger, cheese, ketchup, all of that. And then the top is the top part of the bun, okay? So your bottom, the bottom of your bun, that's going to be your base. That's what everything's going to sit on, okay? So layer 1, we're going to have this as our base, and I'm going to literally call it base. Some people call it locked. Let me make sure you guys can see. Some people call it locked layer, and I can do that for this. Let's call it locked / base. You can call it whatever you want to. I would just say name it something so that you know what it is. So there's our lock / base layer. Layer 2, that's going to be like my meat and my cheese and all the good stuff in my cheeseburger. So layer 2, I'm going to rename as my editing layer, or you can name it stickers. So editing / stickers. Okay. So we have 2 layers. You could stop here. And I think for newcomers, it is best to stop here. And what you want to do is make sure that you literally hit the lock. And let me go in a little bit because I want you to sort of see what that looks like. Make sure that you literally hit the lock in your locked layer, because you have, that is what locks it, right? You can unlock it and lock it as many times as you want. You can lock any of the layers, okay? If your layer is not locking, so like, for example, if I'm on this layer, which right now you can see I'm on the editing stickers layer and it's not locking, I don't have a lock icon, it's because I'm on the layer. You cannot lock a layer while you're on it in this menu. So right now, the only option I have is to lock my base layer, which is great, okay? If I wanted to lock my editing and stickers layer, just make sure you're not on that layer, okay? Right now, I'm going to unlock everything because I'm going to add one more layer, and it's going to be my text layer. So that's going to be the top of my personal, like, hamburger. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to name this text, okay? So again, think about this as a hamburger and literally about like as layers. So let me zoom back out. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit more so you can see. Okay, so base layer, bun, middle layer, like stickers, all the good stuff. Top layer is your text. That's exactly what it's going to look like when you're planning. Most people are going to want to lock their digital papers, their date dots. Those are things you don't want to move. They do want to move things like the deco and the stickers and the sticky notes and all that good stuff. That's in the middle. On the very top, what I put on those stickers are text. That's my appointments. That's work information. That's confidential information. All of that is my top layer, okay? So that's how I set my layers up. Some people will go as far to put a layer for everything they do. I know creators that have a layer for the like the digital paper. Then they have one for their planner base. Then they have one for paper. Then they have one for rings. Then they have one for Dutch doors. Then they have one for stickers. Then they have one for text. I've seen people have like up to 8 layers. If you can navigate that, by all means go for it. I don't know if I could navigate that, and I've been in Noteful pretty much all of this year. But hey, if that's you, then go for it. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just sort of play with this. I am going to lock my locked layer. and keep everything else unlocked, okay? Now, let me zoom back in. It's going to be a lot of zooming in and out because I want you to really see what's going on here. Do you see how my text layer has a blue outline around it? What that's telling me is that I am currently, if I put anything down, it's going to be on my text layer. So if I take my, again, a lot of zooming in and out, but I just want you to be able to see. If I take my text box and I write hello, okay, so I've written hello in text, and I go back up to layers, you can see that the hello is currently in the text layer because that blue box is around the text layer, okay? What I typically try to do is to make sure that I'm always working in the editing and stickers layer, and then I just move things to other layers. That's the way it works best for my brain. I want to see everything, well, not everything, because I do have things on the lock layer, but I like to be able to see the things that I'm working on in the editing layer. Let's say you did this and you were like, oh no, I didn't mean to put it on my text layer. I want to put it in my editing layer. All you would need to do is circle, turn on your lasso, circle it. That brings up your little menu here. Press the arrow. That's going to bring up the rest of the menu, and you'll see move to layer. We can move this to our editing and sticker layer. The way you know that you've done it is you go back here, you'll see in your editing and sticker layer, and now it says hello, okay? I'm gonna take that out, and I'm going to pretty much sort of build a planner with you guys and sort of show you how to do the locking layer. So let me zoom back out. So I'm going to work in this Cherry Christmas, and I'm going to make this very quick because I like to ramble when I get on here. I have a lot of fun, but today I'm trying to get in and out. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I want to use this sticker, and I'm going to make sure that I have images on. I did not. So let's say I want to use this sticker. I'm going to lasso it and copy it. If I were in a split screen, you could definitely drag and drop. Okay, I'm on my editing layer. That's the one I like to stay on personally. And I'm going to paste. And let's say that I want to use this as like washi tape. Okay, so I'm going to, and this is going to be a very, very rough rendition of how I would do this. But I want you to just sort of see the concept, not necessarily the artistry right now. So I would, let's say, do this. I don't like to stretch out too much. That's even probably more than I would prefer to stretch things out here. But for the sake of showing you how to do this, we're going to go for it. So let's say I like this. I want this to be my washi tape. I don't want this to move because what I'm going to end up doing is putting stickers on top. I want this to be the bottom of my hamburger, okay? So what I'm going to do, in the easiest way you can do, I'll show you the normal way, and then I'll show you the easiest way. Normal way, you can just click on each of those stickers, and you see this one brings up a menu, this one brings up a menu. The more practical way is to take your lasso and lasso right around the middle. It can be a big piece so that you can make sure you get both of them, and then just do it all at the same time. So what I want to do is I want to take this, lasso it, hit that caret. I'm going to move to layer locked / base. So this is now on my locked and base layer. Again, if you're new, you may want to do this every time. You may just want to go back up here and make sure you see it in that layer. I see it in that layer. It's locked. I see that the lock is on that layer. That layer is not going to move, okay? And here's the proof. It's not moving. That's exactly what we want. So now we have our base, and now we're like, okay, so I want to put on here maybe the word December, which, you know, would be fitting. So I like this December. So I'm going to put this December. I'm going to copy it, go back. I'm going to move you guys back out. I'll try to leave you out now, as you've seen sort of what I'm doing. So I'm going to, I copied that December, bought the January too. That's fine. And now what I want to do, and I can do this up here. I can literally still use my lasso and resize because, again, that's locked. That's not going anywhere, okay? So I can play around here and decide, do I like this here? Do I want it in the center? Is it too big? Because I do want to put the days of the week here. And let's say I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with that. I kind of like that. That's cute. Now, do I have a reason to pick this December up anymore as I am planning? I don't actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I've either lassoed this December or just clicked on it, and then I'm going to do move to layer. And again, I'm going to move it to the locked and base layer. That's now on the locked layer. It's not going anywhere. Go to layering. You can sort of see it there. If I zoom in, you could definitely see it, okay? Perfect. So now I'm going to go back to my sticker set, and I'm going to pull over my days of the week, and I'm going to copy them. And again, since this is locked, I don't have to be particular. I can paste this anywhere on the screen. Usually I would paste down here because I know there's no stickers here, but since these are locked, I don't care. I can literally resize. Let's say I do it and I'm like, oh crap, I dropped half of them. Oh, well, guess what? I can still lasso and just pick those up because everything else is locked, okay? So I'm going to resize this and sort of get to where I like it. I feel like that would be really cute right in there. So I'm going to place these. Also, this is a new iPad for me. I recently got the iPad 13-inch Pro on Black Friday, and this is my first 13-inch. I have the 11, and this is the M5. I don't know about the M4, but this screen, like the screen, I didn't put a screensaver on it yet. I have one. I'm sort of living life on the wild side because I love the texture. It's almost like a matte screen protector. So anyway, so yeah, I have my days all set here. Now, I can leave these as they are, but for an example, I'm going to lock them, and I'll talk about why in just a minute. So I'm going to circle them all, move to layer, locked. I think this is pretty self-explanatory at this point. Let's go back to Cherry Christmas. Do I have date dots in this one? I don't think that I do. So I'm going to go and find some date dots because I want to give you an example of layering within a layer. Let's randomly find some date dots. They don't have to be Christmas, but we'll keep up with Christmas. And I'm just going to take this first row of date dots and hit copy, and I'm going to paste them. Okay, now again, all of this is locked, so it's totally fine. We can manipulate this, and I think just so that you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to leave them about that big. And then I am going to place these dates. December is such an aesthetically pleasing month because it started on a Monday. And if you're a Monday start girly like me, it's just something about that just scratches your soul in the best way. Okay, so I have my date dots on here. So as a digital planner, the problem that I see and that I run into now is I'm like, oh, I would really like for this Wednesday or my days period to be on top of this date dot, okay? So what I would usually do as a digital planner is I would go to whatever sticker that I want to move and say, hey, I want to arrange this and send it to the back. Nothing happens, okay? The reason for that, and this is something that I had to learn, I'm still sort of perfecting, is because things on a layer have to react with other things on the same layer. So I'm trying to send this to the back, but it's not on the same layer as this. So my system doesn't understand what I'm wanting to do, okay? To fix that, what you have to do is make sure that things are first on the same layer, and then you can manipulate them and move them. So what I would do in this case is I would lasso everything, or I'm not even going to lasso everything. I'm just going to focus on one thing. So I'm going to focus on this one. I'm going to move this to the locked layer. And now if I zoom in, this is important. You see how you see my December and you can see the numbers, and then you see that itty bitty little one there. Okay. So those are the things that are on the locked layer. So what I'm going to do now that everything's on the same layer, I can now sort of move things from the front to the back. So I'm going to unlock the layer. Everything on the layer is now unlocked and movable, okay? I'm going to take my Monday. You can do it either way. You can take the Monday and bring it to the front, or you can take the one and send that to the back. I'll take the one. Actually, no, I'm going to take the Monday and bring it to the front because I want that to be on top. If I were to send this to the back, it's going to go behind even my little faux washi. That's not what we want. So I'm going to take my Monday. I'm going to arrange it, bring it to the front. You can do it with all of them, actually. So I'm going to move this to the locked layer. Now that they're on the same layer, arrange, bring to the front. And it's just like rinse, wash, and repeat. Again, I could have done all of these at once. Like I could have lassoed all the numbers, sent them all to the layer at once. But because I'm showing you how to sort of maneuver and use layers, I'm doing it this way. So now I'm going to arrange, bring the front, couple more, move to layer locked, arrange, bring the front, move to layer locked, arrange, bring the front, and then last but not least, move to layer locked, arrange, bring to front. Now everything is on the same layer. Now, as you can see, like the 7's being hidden, so I would want to, do some adjustments there. You can do those things, but this is not about perfection. It's about practice, right? So everything's on the same layer now. We can go and do a layer check. Layer check shows us everything is on the same layer. We are good. Now I'm going to relock the layer. Now nothing moves. Now, the perfectionist in me wants to go in and, of course, set this up better. And I can actually do that really quick. Let me zoom y'all out and let me make it look, pretty perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to zoom in. I think I'm going to make the numbers smaller. And again, since they're all on the same layer, the layer is currently unlocked, I'm able to do that. And I'm just sort of lining it up with the corners here. Okay. And then now I'm going to zoom out and say, okay, that looks a little better. That looks more like what I want it to look like. We're going to say I like the way it looks, although I still don't. And now we're going to lock the layer. And we are still on our editing and stickers layer because that is the one with the blue line around it, okay? So my text layer, we haven't done anything with that. I'm keeping this very short and sweet, less than 25 minutes. So I'm going to show you really quick how I manipulate a text layer. So I'm going to grab this box here. And this is like a little appointment box. Okay. If you get these in my sticker pack and you quite don't know how to use it, you can just sort of line them up here and then write appointment information. So I would put like appointment. Okay. And of course, it's your artistry. Do it however you want. This is just how I would do it. Okay. And this is just a mock appointment. I would say that I have an appointment on the 9th and it is, let's say it's going to be this is a fake appointment at 12:30. And let's say it's going to be a mammogram. Okay. Do I want the entire internet knowing about my mammogram? No, not at all, right? I mean, I don't really care personally, but most people wouldn't. So that's for me. That's for my eyes. This is what it looks like on my calendar. But let's say I wanted to show you guys this, but I really did have an appointment. And, it's personal. I don't want everybody knowing all my business. So what I do in this case, we'll do a layers check. As you can see, that's in the editing and stickers layer. Totally fine. This is the part that I don't want people really knowing about. So what I would do is click on the text box. It brings up that same menu. I'm going to move to layer text. Okay. The text layer is not locked, so I can still pick this up and move it. I can even put it here if I want to. But what I can do is I can now go to my layers and I can hit my little eyeball beside the text layer and turn it off. And that's still there, but now you cannot see it, okay? You can see here, I can see that, and I can't zoom in this window, unfortunately. So I can see, and hopefully you can see that there's text in that layer of my appointment, but I can't physically see it. And that's good for if I'm wanting to keep some things private. Once I'm done with live or whatever I'm doing, I turn it back on. This, now that it's on this layer, I can put this anywhere on my planner. So I can put it here. If I turn off that layer, because it's still on the layer, it doesn't matter where the placement is, it's still on the layer. If I turn that layer off, you won't be able to see it. Now that goes with any layer, okay? I'm gonna put this back here. So that even goes for our base layer. So let's say you're working and you have yourself in a situation where you have a lot of layers and you're like, I have no idea what layer this is on. Like there may be a lot of stickers here. This looks a little jumbled. I have no idea. What you can do is you can turn the layers off. Notice I have not deleted or said I was going to delete anything. You can turn the layers off. So I can turn any layer that I've created off, whether it's locked or not. So our base and locked layer, I can hit this and turn it off. And now it looks pretty much like the page did when we first started. I can turn it back on. Anything that's on my editing and text layer, right now it looks like it's that appointment and the actual sticker. I can turn that off, and then that just has the text there. And then of course we know that we can turn off the text and take that away. Okay, so and I'm going to be done now. I'm saying within 30 minutes. So sorry, but this is important. Let's say my appointment gets canceled and I'm like, I no longer have an appointment and I don't need the text layer. Let's say I'm like, I don't need the text layer, okay? I would not suggest ever deleting a layer, because if I delete this layer, it's going to delete everything in the notebook, as we said at first. Since this is new and there's only this one thing on the layer and this one thing in the notebook, deleting it really won't hurt. But let's get in the practice of not deleting the layer. Let's delete what's on the layer. If you needed to delete a layer for whatever reason, what you would do is you would slide with your Apple Pencil to the side. It's going to give you a trash can. You hit delete. That's it. There's no like warning, like, are you sure you want to delete? You hit that and it's gone. Okay. For this example, I can do that, I guess, because like I said, there's nothing on that. So as you can see, the words that were on that layer left, layer's gone. I no longer have that layer. Don't be me. Don't do that. It's final. You can't get those things back. And it does occur throughout the entire notebook. So anything in this calendar for the entire year that was on that text layer would be gone. But let's say, you know, I did have an appointment and, you know, let's say my appointment got canceled. I was like, I don't need this anymore. You can delete this from the layer. You just can't delete the layer. To delete something from a layer, you do it just like any other time. You make sure that layer is unlocked. Okay, as you can see, that editing and stickers layer is unlocked. And then I just lasso what I want to delete and I delete it. I go here, I still have my layer, but the things are gone from the layer. Let's show you this. So let's say I decided I don't really like these date dots. I'm going to get rid of them. I just unlock the base layer or the locked layer and I start lassoing stuff and getting rid of it. As you can see, it was on top of something else, so it took everything off. So I would suggest doing them one at a time. And again, you're deleting what's on the layer, not the layer itself. If I were to zoom in one more time for you, you can see that there are still things on that layer. After you get done deleting the stuff, go ahead and make a practice of locking that layer again. Okay, so I hope this helped. I tried to do this in the most simple fashion that you would understand how layers work. That's pretty much all it is to layers. It is a cool feature. It is very useful. As a beginner, I would say be very mindful. And even as a pro, be mindful of the layers you create, because the layers you create are the layers you are stuck with, okay? If you have any questions on Noteful or on layering, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to answer any questions. If I don't know the answer, I will see if I can figure it out. But that is going to be it for this video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I really want to grow this YouTube family. For all the new subscribers, thank you so much. You guys are amazing, and I'm so glad that you're here to join me. If you have questions, like I said, leave them below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, friends.